What's going on, Cornball League? It's your boy Zerk here with the midseason recap. Surprise guest on the pod. Introduce yourself.
What's up? It's your boy Will.
Goddamn right, it's motherfucking Will, dude. Nobody better, nobody else I'd rather have on the pod. Anytime, especially when we're talking midseason. Just talking ball, man. We've been bullshit for like an hour and a half before hitting record, just reminiscing on some 2014 fantasy and trying to figure out who the fuck some of these guys were on our teams. So we'll jump right into it. We'll look at the standings so far through 8 weeks. I know we talked earlier in the year about, teams that we think will make the playoffs, miss the playoffs. Is there anybody you're surprised on current standing wise on where they sit or what's been going on here?
No, not really. I mean, believe it or not, other than myself, that top 7 is exactly what I had. The
Okay.
person that I had lower was Amanda.
Okay. Copy that.
Amanda. Hold on. It was Jake.
So you had yourself in besides Jake?
Yeah, so I would switch spots with Jake, and that was my top 7 preseason after the draft.
Well, I mean, you're pretty close because you're right there at 8th. And your guys' points forwards are pretty close, like a 40-point gap there. So, to be honest, looking here too, I didn't realize that Jake's been on a 3-game winning streak. I know I talked about it in the pod that I recorded earlier today. I don't know if it's even gone up on Spotify yet or not, or YouTube. But one of the things I talked about that nobody really noticed or said anything about last week, except Jake himself to me privately, was he went into Monday Night Football with a 1% chance to win and won that game.
Wow, I did not notice that.
He
What
was
sent him over the edge there?
he was down like 80 points to Zach's team. Let me pull it up real fast again. He won 131 to 130, and he had
Wow.
Mahomes, McLaurin, Hunt, and Kelsey all playing Monday night, and they all popped off. I mean, it wasn't a solid 80. He was down like 78 and some change, and he scored like 79. But it was like after the game, he was like, holy fucking shit, I can't believe I pulled that off. I didn't see anybody else mention it in the chat. Kind of wanted to save it for the pods, but yeah, dude. He went into Monday night with a 1% chance to win and came out with the dub against the first place team. So knocking him off a little bit.
That's what you love to see. That's some good shit, Jake.
Love to see it. I kind of correlated
Yeah.
these losses that Sam and Zach have accrued here as to like in 300 when Leonidas throws the spear and cuts Xerxes' cheek. Like, didn't kill him, but we love to see the gods bleed a little bit.
Yep.
Get you inspired. And it's, just, you don't want to see somebody run away with it or go like 10-0. Personally, I have a record for longest win streak in the league last year with 9 in a row. So I don't ever want to see that snap. So I'm glad these guys caught some L's.
I know, yeah. You beat my streak of 7. I had the 7 the first year.
Yeah.
And then it got beat last year. I was crying.
That-
I loved it, dude. I loved my 9. Or my 7. I had it for years. It was safe for years. And you finally got it, so.
I was
I did
crying.
not see it broken again.
I was crying myself a little bit too because I want to say I was either winless or had one win before that run, and I ran with it all the way, snuck into the playoffs, and then got absolutely fucking smoked by Joe in the first round. So
Oh yeah, I remember you talking about that on the pod last.
Cinderella story was.
And dude, it's like the 16 that beats the 1, and then they get slapped by the 7. The next, the next round, it's like, damn.
Yes, Loyola Chicago or whoever the fuck that team was
Yep.
recently. They beat Virginia.
Beat Duke or whatever. Or Virginia.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's crazy that we can't remember who the fuck that is because that was such a historic moment. But I think it was Loyola Chicago or I don't know, some fucking team we'll never see again. But
Exactly.
for myself, I definitely have a couple misses here. Looking at it, I had Joey getting in, which he is currently right now. I had myself, I had Sam, and I had Kate. Those are the ones that are looking like I got right so far. But on the misses, I had Keith getting in to the playoffs.
Profit.
The Prophet.
But not fit.
Yeah, I don't. Gotta find the whatever the anti-profit is here, and I guess that'll be Keith's name unless he turns this around. You're making me look foolish, Keith. Then I had you in there, but like you just said, you're right on the outside, one spot back of being in. So I guess we could take that as a dub. And then I had Mike in there, who's currently in ninth, and I'm not sure that he's gonna make it purely based on points for. He's tied with two other people at 3 and 5, and then there's two people at 4 and 4, and three people at 5 and 5, and he has the lowest points for by far, by almost 100. So he'd have to clear an 100 points for point gap and continuously win games. I just fear that he's going to, get into that range where he and two or three other people are continuously at the same record, and he'll always be at the bottom of that and be like the 8th or 9th place guy to finish. Like where he's at right now, I think is where he will be. And strictly because of points for. Because the only way he's going to be in is to go up a game on all the people in front of him that are at 4 and 4 or 5 and 3. Or he's going to have to make up that point gap. And I don't know if that happens with, losing Scatabo and stuff like that. I know Manon Guy's like getting his chance this week with Swift being out, but at a certain point, you can't lose Scatabo and trade away Barkley and do all this and then continue to try to stay afloat. So I kind of fear where he's at is where he's locked in.
Yeah, yep, I completely agree. One thing I did forget to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even though I ranked Kaysen pretty low, I had him in 8th. I did not expect him to be 12th and locking himself into that 10, 11, 12 spot that you were kind of talking about. I completely agree.
100%.
With historically, Jaquizda's pants. I wish he'd bring that back. Mr. Jaquizda's pants has always been a playoff team. So it's pretty shocking to see him down there at the bottom. And whenever you're his rival and you have to play him twice a year, all those years that I had to get smoked out by his god teams, I'm a little jealous now. They only had to play him once.
Absolutely,
he's unfortunately just a cakewalk with that team, and it sucks.
I don't know if it was just because he got off to a bad start, or things get to people and fantasy can get put on the back burner or be a little bit of a loss of interest. And I don't talk to Kaysen too much privately to kind of know what he has going on. But if you're just looking at like his waiver budget, he hasn't spent $1 on anybody on the wire, and he's only made 2 waiver wire moves all season. And with him being in 11th place for the waiver, like he just made a move, but he didn't spend any money. But I mean, he's just not active. You know what I mean? Like early on, you see some of these guys like myself and Joey and you that are 20 plus moves, picking up, trading, da-da-da-da-da. We're big wheeler, cat dealer, fucking doing everything we can, scratching and clawing to gain a point here, gain a point there, to stay afloat. And then you see, that kind of come up. You see the same thing from Zach's team at the top, but to be honest, his team's kind of been perfect. He hasn't really needed to shake anything up or do much.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
If you're...
when your whole team's healthy, yeah.
Exactly. When you're a struggling team and you're down at like 10th, 11th, 12th place, the first thing I look at is just like your activity, sub 10 moves, most of your fab. I mean, Amanda's done a lot more than Kaysen has, and Keith's activity or his moves are boasted a little bit by a couple of trades that he's made. But I mean, you look at the bottom 2 teams here, and it's just a lot of like what could have been, because when you're in week 9, you're not going to find a fantasy gem. I mean, we just got Tyrone Tracy, but that's few and far between. And in a league like this, he's already rostered. So last year, or no, it was 2 years ago when Mike went on his tear, he picked up Puka Nacua week 1 it was week 2 after week 1. He threw like all his fab in on it. And those first couple weeks are so crucial for ads and drops, because that's when you find those gems or those rookies or whatever that come through. At this part, you're not going to find somebody that's going to win a league, but you could find potentially somebody that's going to keep you afloat. So having this amount of cash this late in the game is bad, but also for like myself, having nothing is also terrible. That means I can never win like a Sunday night, a Monday night, a Thursday night after a game if there was an injury or a big guy that popped. I have no money to bid on anybody. I'm just gonna have to hope that nobody's paying attention.
Yeah,
so
exactly. That's definitely not the spot you want to be in, but I'd rather have no money in 22 moves than all my money in 2. You know what I mean?
At this point, absolutely, yeah. But I wish, it's one of those, like, I'm almost considering, negotiating a trade with Fab. Like, giving a 2-for-1 and you kick me back like $20 at Fab just so I can fucking have something in case like an injury happens, or because I could just get locked out. If I'm going into a bye week and Justin Herbert's not going to play and I'm not proactive, and my teammate or the guy I'm playing has 2 free bench slots, he can pick up the 2 best quarterbacks on the week and just hold them from me, and then I'm like, oh god damn, I got to roll out there with whoever, and it could just get a little dicey. But that was just kind of something I want to point out. But
I just had to throw that out there for Kaysen, just historically speaking.
No, absolutely, and that's one of the things we talked about pre-draft is I didn't want to leave him. I didn't have mine ranked per se on where I thought they would finish, but definitely like these are the 7 I think will be in, and then the 5 that won't make it. But Kaysen was one that teetered for me, and it was kind of like I got to believe it till I see it. And to me, I want to say, I don't have it pulled up right now, but I want to say he's the only person in the league that's made the playoffs every year that he's been in the league.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he said that on the podcast.
He missed the first season, but he's been in this one and the previous 3 before that, so since 2021.
Yeah.
But it's one of those, like, if he's never missed, you can't bet against him, but yeah, I don't know what happened. I'll have to go back into some league history and see if his teams have been this stagnant in the past, but I almost wonder if he's got some, outside influence going on to kind of put fantasy on the back burner. And, once your team is bad and you got a bunch of injuries, you automatically kind of lose interest if you're chalked by week 3. That might be a part of it, but it's just kind of rough to see.
I know a couple things. Surprisingly, like, I don't talk to Kaysen all the time by any means, but he texted me today. We were chatting. And he just got sleeves done. This dude's got sleeves.
Like tattoo sleeves?
Yeah, like, fun fact, this man has a portrait of Julio Jones on him.
Are you fucking me right now?
No.
That's crazy. What the fuck?
I know, I feel like I need to text it to you.
Well, I mean, like, it's going to sound weird, but I've known Kaysen more like in his adolescent life than his adult life.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely knew him more as a kid, when you were around for birthday parties and stuff like that. So, I don't know him very much as an adult, but he never struck me as, like, a tattoo guy. Definitely not a fucking double-sleeved out bro. I know he's a Julio Jones, like, Falcons super fan, but, wow, that, I correlate Kaysen with Chicken Nugget, not tattoo sleeve guy. So, a little surprising to hear there, but that's, good for him. But I have him on Facebook. I see him out and about all the time, but like, Sam's out and about all the time too, hiking and shit, going on adventures with his dog, and he's still pretty active and doing what he needs to do here. So,
oh, for sure.
And you do the same.
I just knew that
Absolutely.
That takes a lot of time,
100%. Oh, fucking hours, dude. That's probably multiple sessions.
Crazy.
4, 6, 8 hour sessions each. Because, I mean, you have multiple sessions just for outline, for shading, depending on tolerance. You've got tattoos, I got tattoos. We know how it is. But I've never had one where I've had to sit like a whole day. I think JR blasted my toaster out in like 45 minutes. So
with the Beyblade and a fucking needle.
Whatever the hell it was. A CD motor and a pre-hybrid Draco, whatever fucking Beyblade thing. Boiled Bic ink pen.
Tattooed with a fucking Beyblade and a goddamn like pen.
Yeah, he was fresh out of jail, so he knew what the fuck was up, dude. He could probably make a hibachi with his prison cell bed and all that shit too. So I don't know if you're super off topic, but I don't know if you've seen that shit on TikTok where those prison guys like somehow rig up a heat source with like a cut phone charger, and like they could heat up their steel bed to make it into like a grill, and they're fucking in there.
Way.
Yeah, dude, that is the craziest shit I've ever seen.
Funny, dude. Oh my god.
Those guys can do everything but prison except get the fuck out.
Except get the fuck out. Exactly.
So,
But yeah, that's a fun fact throwback for you guys. Watching some
Yeah,
Kobe Bryant Lakers in the fucking hood.
that's
Zach getting tattooed by a Beyblade.
that's Jaquizzed in my pant days, dude. That's like 2014.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Quizzed all over the place.
Lord have mercy. All right, that's our thoughts on the standings, kind of like where we're currently at with the league. I'd like to talk about like top 12 players at the position. We're going to start with quarterback here, just season total, going over it. Right off the bat, biggest surprise for me is Patrick Mahomes. He's one of the players I hated going into the draft because his ADP hasn't correlated with his fantasy finish the last like 3 years. He's being taken as a top 6 quarterback and then finishing at like quarterback 10, and just felt like wasted value. But this year he's definitely come through, and I think a lot of that is, and you won't see here with his stats because it's well, fuck, I guess you do. He's got 280 yards rushing, and at one point, I don't know if it's still the case, but he was the leading rusher on the team, along with being the quarterback. And that's not a typical, not a typical Mahomes thing. But he's up here in the league with 4 rushing touchdowns. Jalen Hurts has 5, Bo Nix has 3, Daniel Jones has 4, Josh Allen has 5. So he's in like the upper echelon of that, which I know he gets a couple, but it doesn't feel like he's at the top of the league for those kinds of stats career wise. And he's slanging it, 2,100 yards, 17 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Great year from him, but he was just one like historically definitely out on, and then kind of ball in the first 8 weeks, and most of that was without Rishi Rice. So
true. Yeah, I feel like I have to eat shit on this one. Obviously, I had Patrick Mahomes last year, with Travis Kelce, and that was just a shitty stack, and I was like, never again. I will never ever draft him. And I definitely remember being like, kind of scoffing at Jake when he drafted him, but it's really worked out for you, and this is what I hoped for last year, so I'm a little jealous, but I'm surprised. I mean, I think I think it's cool and amazing. Like I like Patrick Mahomes, but I did not see him up there at the top. I'm also kind of surprised with Drake May as well. I know that he's good. I know everybody's like knows he's good, but I was sleeping on him a little bit to see him up there this high.
I guess for me, you just didn't expect to see this big of a jump, but he is incredible. He's got a beautiful deep ball. He's good with his legs. He's not I feel like he doesn't take what's the good thing here. Mahomes, like, there's never designated runs, but he'll scramble, but he's like smart about it. Like, he gets down, he gets out of bounds, but he's quick, man. He can pick up 10 like that.
It's been very surprising. I think that was kind of a steal for sure as a quarterback.
Absolutely. He was a guy I had my pulse on. I wanted to take him as my late round quarterback. But I got into that Mexican standoff with like Joey and I think Amanda and somebody else where I'm like, I'm not pulling the fucking first trigger on a quarterback. I'm going to keep getting value here. And I ended up getting the short straw there when I should have just pulled it. Some stock names here as well, like Hurts being up here as a top 3 guy. Josh Allen's not doing as well as we thought with where he got taken, but he's here. Obviously, like Lamar Jackson's not up here now. I think it might be too far gone for him to finish in the top 12 by the time the season's all but done, because of the way, a lot of guys just score like 15 to 20 pretty often, unless he's putting up 35, 40-point games. I don't know if he creeps in here, but he'll definitely be worth it. I guess I'm not super surprised, but I have to admit something. And it's the first time I think I'm ever going to say this publicly, and I hate the thought of it, but I can't deny the feeling and the fun I have. But I love watching Baker Mayfield play.
Damn.
And I hate that motherfucker.
I was just talking today. We had some people over for Halloween, and they were like, why do you hate, if you're a Buccaneers fan, why hate Baker Mayfield? He's doing so well. Fuck him for planting the flag 15 years ago. in Columbus. I don't know how many years ago it was, but like
It
planting
was.
that flag, I just can't forgive him.
It's
And
been
I was
like
trying to like,
10.
dude, I've been trying to talk myself out of hating him for it, and I just can't. I just can't fucking
I
stop it, dude. I'll be a petty ass motherfucker
no, I hate him.
probably forever.
I don't like the guy, but I love watching him play. And I don't know if it's
Yeah.
because fantasy football kind of brings you around sometimes. And like, he was a guy that I was able to get for the low in Dynasty, and he's turned his career around. So it's kind of elevated a bunch of my Dynasty teams in Superflex up a little bit. And then I feel like this year, what really put the hammer on the nail was being an Ibuka truther, and then
Yeah.
seeing what Ibuka's doing, and he can't do that without Baker being fun and just crazy to watch. Now he's cooled off here the last couple weeks, but golly, he's been uh, crazy this year. It's just been fun to see him play, and he does play with a lot of heart. But I still, at the end of the day, it's fuck Baker Mayfield, and even it's not just the planting the flag in Columbus. It was all the shit talking like afterwards, and then the year before when we did the home and away, when him and all those fucking Boomer Sooner fucks were going basic defense, Buckeye, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
and then we went into Oklahoma and fucking smoked him. He can basic defense this dick, but
Exactly.
yeah, I something about that home and away, man. Like I don't like Baker Mayfield the same way I never liked Johnny Manziel, and Manziel never did shit to the Buckeyes. I just thought he was a prick. But yeah, it's just like I said, not surprised to see him here. A lot of guys thought he was going to fall off because Liam Cohen went to Jacksonville, but
Yeah.
it's cool to see him here.
Yeah, I think that that was somebody I was kind of, if I didn't get one of those top 3 quarterbacks, I was gonna go for him, and I hated that.
Yeah.
I hated writing that in my game plan, but I believed in him. I really wanted to stack him with one of the Buccaneers receivers, and it just didn't end up working out that way. But I'm not surprised that he's
sure.
up here, to be honest. I'm honestly more surprised at Dak's year.
Really?
I thought that he was going to be a shitter this year, to be honest. I thought he was going to get hurt again and just be a shitter.
He was my one quarterback that I chose for ADPs I loved. He was going in from my notes I had, 7th ranked quarterback, but he was going in the 10th round. And it was just one of those, and this is before, or maybe right after the Micah Parsons news where everyone knew their defense was going to be bad. But, the only concern I had was that this is the worst O-line he's ever played with. And I was concerned that there would be no running game, which apparently Javonte Williams has come back from the grave. And
Yeah,
what that's
exactly.
done is open up the pass game for him. But that was what I thought was going to be the problem was, if you can't run the ball, you just play 7 in coverage, and the quarterback has nowhere to go.
Exactly.
Because he can
That's
only
exactly
have
what
a
I thought
max
was gonna
of...
happen.
Yeah, you can only have a max of 5 guys running routes. Between your, like, if you run a 3 receiver, tight end, halfback set, even if you have the halfback go out, it's 7 on 5. You're just going to get shut down if you have no threat of running. And coming off his injury, I don't think he has any threat of scrambling or running. And that's kind of, dictated over here with his 87 rushing yards this year compared to some of these guys that have 200 plus. So that was my only concern, was that the O-line would be bad and they would just drop fucking 7-8 in coverage every play and just pick him off. But he's been crazy. George Pickens has been crazy. Really carried that team when CD was down. But
Yeah,
Dak.
I didn't see that happening either. We could save that for wide receivers, but I was not high on Dak and I was high on Baker Mayfield too. So to see those guys up here, both of them, pretty shocked. I thought Bo Nix was going to be a little better, but he's kind of right where he should be at this point.
It's been a roller coaster for Bo Nix.
It has been.
Looking at his points here, I mean, he's won you weeks and lost you weeks. I mean, a guy that it's very Justin Fields like. If you look at his, except the lows are not as low, where Fields is getting like 4-point games, but Fields' highs are like these 40-point games or these 27-point games that Bo Nix has been putting up. So more consistent than Fields, but still has that range.
That upside.
Yeah, the range and like that floor that Justin Fields also carries with him here. The one player I think we're kind of both dancing around the room with a little bit is what the fuck is up with Daniel Jones?
Oh, dude, he was going to be the next one I was going to say.
What the fuck happened here, man? How did we miss this? I don't think, Colts fans could have predicted this. I mean,
could anybody have?
Maybe the key's just getting out of New York.
Fucking bad at the Giants, dude.
So bad, and it was quarterback controversy through preseason. If it was going to be Richardson or Jones, and it was back and forth, back and forth. And I think that Daniel only got the nod because Richardson was hurt going into preseason. He had some multiple injuries, and then now he's like broke his fucking collarbone or something. So he's for sure gone. And I mean, at this point, there's no way you bench Jones, but.
Yeah, exactly. And who would have thought we would have been here talking about this? Like, this is just crazy. Imagine the season that they would have had if they would have decided to go with Richardson.
I think
We'd
it's
be looking at a completely different Colts team for one,
for sure,
and for Jonathan Taylor.
For sure.
I think that Daniel Jones carrying this team like this has really made Jonathan Taylor be the running back he is. Because I've had Jonathan Taylor, and whenever they don't have a passing game, that dude can handle it 30 times, but he's not going to go anywhere.
Exactly. It's the exact opposite of what we talked about with Dak. If you can run the ball, they're going to put 7-8 in the box. And then you got one-on-ones on the outside, or sometimes you got somebody who's just running butt fucking naked down the field. So this is, I want to say, God, I feel so stupid fucking asking this. Did Jonathan Taylor play when Phillip Rivers was the quarterback for the Colts? Do you remember? I don't remember how fucking long Jonathan Taylor's been in the league. Feels like forever.
I think that might have been like his rookie season.
Because
he's been in the league like less than like 8 years, I think.
So, only reason I asked that is that would be the only time in Jonathan Taylor's career that he had a legit quarterback. And we're talking like year 19 Phillip Rivers.
True.
So, and he's been able to get it done, but not like this, where he's lapping the field and just... the fantasy footballers talk about it this week when I was listening to them, is it feels like he could score more than what he has. Like, if you watch him, because Indianapolis has been so explosive, they're putting up all these points by like midway through the third quarter. And then JT's just, they're not running as hard. Yeah. The game script wise, there's no reason to run him into the ground. He could get 10 more carries if in a close game or, whatnot, and be putting up 50-point games instead of 37-point games. So,
exactly. Yep, I couldn't agree more.
Just interesting to see here, bringing up old DJ there. Moving on to wide receivers. Let me see, make sure I got the 12 pulled up here. Yep, got 12 up. Number 1 on the season is Jamar Chase. Number 2, Jackson Smith-Njigba. Number 3, George Pickens. That is a wild top 3.
It sure is.
But not what I expected to start the year. Besides Chase, he's had a couple monster games, but he's had some real duds as well. But Joe Flacco's breathed some life into this team.
Like 23 targets. I don't know if you watched that game, but that was crazy.
No, I believe that was one of those primetime games, and on Monday, Thursday, I'm at work, so I can't, I have it on, but I'm not able to, lock the fuck in on what's happening. But I'm not surprised. No, that's fucking crazy. Yeah, that's some Madden shit right there. Yeah. So I'm not surprised he's up there. You and I were talking pre-pod, we were both definitely in on JSN this year. He was one of my players I loved going into the season. I was talking about taking him above AJ Brown and being a back end wide receiver 1, but I definitely didn't expect him to be a top 3 guy with a 41% target share, whatever he's boasting right now. George Pickens looks crazy. I was definitely wrong about Amon-Ra St. Brown. He wasn't a guy that I hated his ADP, but I was definitely fading him a little bit. Same with Puka Nacua. I faded both those guys pretty hard. Nacua was actually a player that I hated. And if he hadn't missed any time, he'd probably be right at or behind Chase. So the top 6 seems pretty stock. The Pickens is the big surprise there, especially more than JSN, because I figured JSN would be somewhere in this top 12 range. Just not that high. I thought Pickens would be a mid wide receiver 2, but he really carried that team without Lamb. Anybody here?
I've never been a believer, of Pickens. I know that Jake's a big Steelers fan, and I always, when I think of the Steelers, I always just think of the.
Jake wasn't even a believer in Pickens this year.
Oh, true. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Remember that? He was
So like,
talking about how
I had
his game
no.
doesn't line up with Dak.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
I thought that there was no way that this guy would be a wide receiver one. I think that he's a wide receiver. Like in my mind, even still after how good he's doing this season, like he's still a wide receiver two in my head.
for sure.
And he's on a team with a wide receiver one. You know that should be up here, CD.
Absolutely.
So,
And see,
I understand that with the injury that nobody can predict, obviously. I
yeah.
think that that's why he's up here. But being preseason ranked 32, it's pretty crazy, that he's up here where he is now. So I think that that's super impressive. I remember pre-pod talking about him, Amon-Ra. If I would have been in a different draft position, he would have been my first round.
Really?
I knew that he was gonna. Yeah, I said it on the pre-draft. I went back and listened, and yeah, I was super high on him. So him and Jackson Smith, I would have loved to have that combo.
Yeah.
Obviously, nobody knew that Jefferson was going to have the down year. He's another guy you'd love to see up here in this list, but
Absolutely.
it should be. But that team in Minnesota is just so weird. So yeah, I'm not surprised to see this top six. Besides George Pickens, truly.
So on the bottom six of this tier, I mean, almost every one of these guys surprises me here.
Yeah.
None of these, I mean, if you look at the preseason rankings on all of these guys from 6 to 12, 29, 34, 79, 89, 57, 33, these guys aren't even considered wide receiver twos. In some cases, not even, wide receiver 36 is the cutoff for a wide receiver three, and there's only two of them here. So it's kind of wild. I mean, we're halfway through, like we said, with CD and some of these other guys. They've had some injuries and some things go on. I know AJ Brown's missed a couple weeks. If we scroll down here, like some of these guys are on the cusp of getting back in. Jefferson's creeping back up here. Devontae Adams has been making a case. So it's they're scratching and clawing, but not quite there at this point in the season. But I mean, who would have thought? Names like Michael Pittman, Cortland Sutton, Chris Olave was somebody I was really not in on this year, but I felt forced to pick him in that position. But it's just been just an absurd amount of targets that's gotten him into this point. If you look over here, he's had 52 receptions on 83 targets.
Wow, 83 targets.
Like
insane.
the only person with more targets in this tier is Jamar Chase, and he has 100.
Almost 100. Jesus.
So Chris Olave's been peppered, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's not producing. The dude's got one fucking touchdown on the year. Or I don't think does he have any?
I thought he had two. But
I'm looking at passing because I'm fucking dumb as hell. Yeah, he's got 3 on the year. So he has 52 receptions for 500 yards and 3 touchdowns. The touchdowns aren't there. Everyone above him has more except for Puka. If he could have, if the Saints could push the ball at all and give him 2 or 3 more touchdowns, he's easily looking at possibly being in the top 6, which is kind of surprising. To me, as somebody I hated, that felt like he'd always finished worse than wide receiver 2, and then all of a sudden this year he's popping with a worse quarterback.
yeah, I've been shocked by that. I love that. Obviously any of these Buckeye wide receivers you're always rooting for, but
Love it, absolutely.
I had no idea that they were going to throw the ball so much. I know we talked about this pre-pod, but we expected them to run the ball and check down to Kamara, and they're doing the complete opposite. He's having the worst season of his career, and Chris Olave might have the best season of his career. I mean, it's crazy.
I genuinely don't think Chris Olave has finished higher than, like, I want to say I had the exact stat in the preseason pod for why I hated him, but I don't have it in my notes here. I just have his name. But I want to say, like, he hadn't finished any higher than, like, wide receiver 20 in his career, and right now he's at 10. And still climbing. Now, like I said, some of those guys are behind him chomping at the bit. He's not going to be able to average 15 a week or whatever with guys like Jefferson coming back and CeeDee Lamb being healthy. And, those guys are definitely going to overtake him if he can't pick it up a little bit here. But one of the things on the rumor mill with trades is that Rashid Shaheed is probably going to get moved instead of Olave. So if Shaheed's gone, does that mean Olave is going to get like a JSN treatment and have 50% target share? Who the fuck else is even there on that team? Juwan Johnson to Alvin Kamara? Like, it would be a drastic scheme change to go, okay, Kamara's now our wide receiver too. We're going to dump it off to him because you haven't done that all year with the quarterback that you have. So, some wide receiver is going to have to pick it up. I think they've got, like, Brandon Cooks is there or something. And, like, Juwan Johnson. But, if Shaheed's gone, I don't know. And then...
Yeah. Can't tell if they're going to double and triple Olave at that point. Like, is it worse for him or is it going to be better? I don't know.
Absolutely. And then the last... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was going to bring up the last one here. I just wanted to pound my chest a little bit on being an Ibuka truther and taking him like 2 rounds early and seeing him up here in the top 10 is just, you love when you bang the drum on somebody. And then you got to think, like, when and I know you guys do as well, but when I come on these pods, especially pre-draft, and I talk about guys I like and I hate, like, you already know, you're like, oh, Zach loves this guy. He's coming up on the clock. I'm going to fucking snipe him. I'm kind of like spilling the beans before we get to the table. So there's a lot of times I don't get my guy. I mean, and I truly like to give you guys, like, good advice with hopes that you use it outside of the league as well. Just being a fantasy content creator. But, it's hard. Like the fantasy footballers and fantasy pros always talk about in their public leagues or their other leagues, there's 2 or 3 of them that are spitting out all these guys that they like and they hate. And they have 9 team members that are building their whole basis off of the same game plan that they're fucking doing. And they're never able to land their guys. So being able to really pound the table in one, get him, and then have him produce is just kind of like, fuck yeah. I don't know. It's just a good feeling.
No, I agree with you. I feel the same way about JSN, and I can get into that for a second after this. But
no, please go ahead.
I wanted Emeka Egbuka so bad. Me and Kate both honestly wanted him so bad. So we're very jealous that you got him in the rounds that you did, and it definitely felt early at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But now looking back, I mean, he could be a 2nd, 3rd round guy next year. That you were able to grab. So I'm glad that that's working out for you. Same thing, Buckeye wide receiver. I'm always going to root for them, and I think that they've done enough to support that they're going to be up here on this list probably.
Wide receiver
next
you.
5 years. Yeah,
100%.
like wide receiver you. Like, we're going to be talking about these guys for years, So I love that he's producing at the same level. Unfortunately for, Godwin owners and Evans owners, it's been a down year for those guys, but there's not anybody else I'd rather see
for sure
profit from that than Egbuka.
To me, it's very much like when I pounded the table for Kyron, and everyone's talking about everything. Pounded the table for Kyron Williams like 2 years ago, and I still believed in him last year, even after they took Blake Corum. But it's one of those, like, everyone's always talking about all of the cons and not the positives. Like when you're talking about Egbuka, I hate to like stay on him here, but it's like, oh, he's got Evans and Godwin in front of him, and Liam Cohen left. But it's like, you gotta look. All the preseason buzz was saying that he was crazy, kind of like with Jamar Chase. Like when Jamar Chase was coming to the league, he had that one bad preseason press where like he was talking about something about the size of the ball or something. I can't remember. And like his draft stock plummeted because he had like a bad preseason game. He talked about not being able to like catch the ball or whatever, and his draft stock went down a little bit, and then he ended up being fucking nuts right out the gate. Kind of same thing with Egbuka. And then it just kind of happens that, Godwin wasn't back, and then when Godwin comes back, Evans is gone, and now they're both gone, and it's just kind of like this. He's had nothing but opportunity and has done well with it. Kind of the same way with Kyron when everyone was like, oh, they drafted Blake Corum. Kyron's listed as the fucking punt returner. But you gotta, like, I don't know. Sometimes you plant your flag in a guy and you miss. Like this year, I was very in on Jameson Williams because he just signed like an $80 million contract, coming off a hot year, and he's been not great.
So bad.
Like in a league that's shallower. Yeah. in a league that's shallower than this one, he's probably on waiver wires. But for me, he's a flex guy. But yeah,
It sucks that that's like a barely flexible person that you're high on. Like I feel the same way.
that's one. It's just, you can. There are certain guys that you can start, and you're like, okay, he's gonna give me fucking 7 to 10 points, and I'm okay with that in my flex. Jameson Williams has the absolute floor of fucking nothing, but then he can get you like a 35-point game out of nowhere, and it just sucks that you can't like hang your hat on that because your projection is going to be like either minus 15 or plus fucking 20 with Jameson Williams when you're looking at like matchups. So
exactly.
it just makes it a little hard. You want to play safe at your other flex spots when you're playing a guy like that.
True. I agree. Can you go back to wide receivers for 1 second? I have one more person.
Yeah, I apologize.
No, you're totally
Go
good.
right ahead.
I just wanted to say that, since we're being proud of some of the picks. Devonta Smith, pretty proud of that pick. I knew that all of the buzz was like he's going to be the man this year.
Yep.
And I was just waiting for it, like being so patient. And then I watched that
Absolutely.
game drop to 33, and it's like, there's the guy. And then a couple weeks before that, it doesn't reflect in the points there, but Jalen Hurts missed him on a wide open, like 90-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
Like the points from that alone would have won the game, and it just like sailed over him by 10 yards. And he just looking at Jalen Hurts like, what the hell, dude?
And
like, he should be having a lot more points. Like honestly, he should be higher on the list. I've watched every Eagles game. I have 3 Eagles players this year. He should be higher on this list.
It's funny you mentioned that, like not being able to see those stats like on the missed attempts there, because it's the same reason that a lot of fantasy experts are still in on at least rostering Jameson Williams, is because he'll have like a 70-yard bomb that just misses, or that he catches and gets called back. And it's like every game he has like 1 to 3 of those opportunities that just haven't hit. And as soon as they hit, bang, you're sitting on money. But he's been overthrown or drawing DPIs or getting the play called back. Like every time, it just hasn't gone his way. And when it has, I mean, like he has hit a couple times here, but
just not on the stat sheet, And I totally feel you.
Exactly. Just kind of pull it up real fast. Like if he had 18 twice, but he gives you like these 2-pointers. He's getting 3 to 5 targets most of these games, and they're all bombs because he's not a what the fuck am I gonna say?
He's a burner.
Exactly. He can run some routes, but he's not like a Puka Nacua you can hit behind the line of scrimmage. He's shimmy shakes, picked up 30. Jameson Williams isn't that guy. He's got to go 30 downfield to get you 30. He can't make 30 happen. But that's kind of where he is. And then there's a lot of talk here from the OC this week and coming off their bye week and everything about how they failed Jameson Williams and got to do a better job of getting the ball and opportunities. Yeah, and like I said, they paid this motherfucker like $80 million. You got to use him.
That contract was crazy.
Absolutely.
Just for the player he is, nothing against him. But I did not think that he was an $80 million wide receiver.
Well, for the career he's had, too, because he's had, 2 years of nothing, a year where he missed 6 games and didn't do anything, and then, one blow-up year, and it's, $80 million. So
yeah, they inked it so quick with him.
Very much so.
We got to get this deal done.
Had to lock him in.
He's more performing how I would think that he would, and not how everybody thought he would. You know what I mean? He's being exactly who he's been.
Absolutely.
Blow-up year. It sucks. So you do love to see when the offense coordinator plans to get him more work, though.
Absolutely. And that's giving me some hope coming towards the back half of the year that maybe I've got a little bit of a gym there and my own little shitty Rashee Rice way where, I can just, Jameson Williams on an 8-game suspension. He's coming back with a new fresh start. Kind of like Rashee Rice missing his 6 and then coming out hot. So hopefully, if they come out this week and make a fucking statement with Jameson Williams and he puts up 20-plus points, I'm going to be happy as a clam just to see them kind of hold to what they say they're going to do.
Yeah.
But
I definitely hope so.
Moving on to running backs here. JT, Christian McCaffrey, Bijan. I know Achan's up here, but I think ranking wise, I would take Bijan over Achan, and those three are kind of running away with it, in my opinion. As far as rankings go, a lot of these guys we took in the top 10 have, for the most part, hit. There hasn't been a lot of misses here. There's not a lot of names I'm really surprised by. I mean, all of these guys were in the realm of possibility. Scatterboo's kind of surprising, but obviously with the IR stint, he's going to fall out of here. DeAndre Swift.
319. That's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. With Swift, I mean, I expected him to be. He just was really bad last year. I figured it would kind of be the same this year. You know, Breece Hall, you'd like to have a little higher up here. I'm definitely missing some big names, but you know, some of those guys have been hurt and they're coming back. You know, Aaron Jones was the guy I was high on. Bucky Irvin was the guy I was high on. Marion Hampton's the guy I was high on. All those guys are you know, they're setting to come back and make a second half push. So obviously they're not here, but is there anyone you're super surprised on? Because I guess the one I have to really point out myself is Javonte Williams. He was around like 10 or 11 pickup, and to turn that into a wide receiver, running back 5 is insane. And, you know, hats off to Verdi for taking that pick, because I wasn't touching Javonte with the 10-foot pole.
I think that there's 2 people on the list here. There's a couple people that I would like to see shifted around a little bit, but or you would think would be shifted around a little higher or lower. But yeah, Javonte Williams being up there, yeah, no fucking way I would have known that. And then it's weird to say this, but you know, my wife has loved Cam Scatterboo. She loves his name. Like, we've been big fans of him, so I'm not like terribly surprised that he's good. But I didn't think he'd be up here.
No.
I know that after that Arizona State game, and everybody always talks about it, but like, the guy has the dog in him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Insert Pat McAfee right here. The dog. He's got the dog.
Yes, sir.
And I love that. Like, there's a couple other, like Baker Mayfield. I wanted to say this earlier. He's got the dog in him. Like, that's one thing I can say that I love about Baker Mayfield. And that's kind of what you were kind of saying. Is like, he's entertaining, he's fun to watch, he's got the dog. You know, he's like 5'10".
Yep.
Like, the dude's like, you know, out there shouldn't be as good as he is.
Just not afraid to put his head down and exactly. You know, go at a defender. One of my favorite plays all time is oh god, I can't remember that fucking cornerback's name to save my life. Jake will know. But there's a play in Jacksonville and Pittsburgh when in like 2016, 17, 18 when they were both like in a Big Ben's career, vying for playoff spots. There's a play where they pitch it out to Fournette on the outside, and he's one-on-one with a Steelers corner or safety that had been jarring back and forth for years, and Fournette just waves them on, like, come get some, motherfucker, and then they both just go low and try to knock each other out. Like, oh, I love that play so much. It's just one of those, like, like a fucking football play, and, you know, Baker just has a lot of those, you know.
Exactly. You know, he jumps up and he's just like, yeah, bitch, like, motherfucker, you know, like, I love that. And
absolutely.
I think Cam Scatterboo's the same way. I don't think he's, like, got the jawing aspect necessarily.
No.
But, like, that dude vomiting on the side of the field and then being like, put me in the next play, like, I'll never forget that. Like, I was like, that dude impressed the shit out of me.
Yeah.
You know, he reminds me of, like, that white dude that was on the Browns. What the hell is his name? He was on the cover of Madden.
Peyton Hillis, bud.
Yeah, Peyton Hillis. Like, he reminds me of watching him. Like, that dude's a fucking, like, dog. You know, it's like Mike Allstott, like a fucking fullback.
Yeah.
You know, like, I love it. But yeah, I'm surprised that he's up here this high, and I'm not, you know, shocked by any means. I think that he deserves to be. You know, like I said, I would love to see Barkley higher, Gibbs higher. Obviously, Bucky Irving, I think, would be on here if he wasn't hurt.
Absolutely.
But yeah. Other than that, I mean, yeah, him and Swift, and I mean Swift maybe, but Javonte Williams, what I meant to say.
I think, you know, if you took this, felt like the year to go wide receiver heavy early, but it feels like going running back early really paid off, at least in a sense where, like, you don't feel. So we looked at those other wide receivers, the top 12, and a lot of them, like, weren't even in the top 50 as far as player rankings go that are currently in the top 12. And when you look at running back, a lot of these guys that were good or projected to be good are here, and you're happy with a lot of them. If you took, even though Mike took Saquon at like 4 or 5, wherever he took him, and Saquon's not a top somewhat guy, he's still top 10. Like, you're not mad about that. You're not as teed up as if you took what's a good like AJ. I hate to say it because he took AJ Brown in the same draft, but like you're way beating yourself up more if you take AJ Brown in round 1 than as if you took like Saquon Barkley. A lot of these guys that went running back early, like for Sam, I think you had to get JT in like round 2. CMC was round 1. HM was like round 3. Bijan was like 2nd overall. Gibbs was like 3rd or 4th overall. James Cook's like, I don't know, a top 4th rounder, I think. Jacobs was like 2nd or 3rd round. Barkley's 1st round. Brees was like 2nd, maybe like rounds 3 to 5. Like if you went running back early, you're pretty happy with what you got.
Yeah.
As opposed to wide receiver.
I'll say this: I'd love to have pretty much any of these guys that aren't hurt on this list. So I'm pretty jealous.
I do want to say too, one of the things. Real fast. In my draft strategy, like every year, I jam as many fucking running backs as I can, and then just try to make wide receiver work. And a lot of that's because of positional scarcity and just like guaranteed workload. You can have a top 24 wide receiver go out and only get like 6 targets, where you can have, even if you're running back 22 on the ranking, you're still going to get like 16 to 22 target or like rush attempts a game and maybe some targets. So you get more of a workload that's guaranteed. You're in a position that's on the scarcer side now, where if you look at our league, there's like 7 of us that are begging for a fucking running back right now. I have 1 running back essentially. And then I'm praying Travion Henderson does anything. And then you have some guys that are like 4 deep, 5 deep. I think even you're deeper at running back than you think. When you get healthy, with Jones coming back and Trey Benson coming back and having what you already have. So, but yeah, there are some of us that are definitely like scratching and clawing at running back to get anything. And one of the things that has got me caught up the last 2 years, not starter wise, but bench wise, was prioritizing running back handcuffs. And then when those handcuffs don't come to fruition and you have 4 draft picks on 4 handcuffs that never got the chance to play, that just hurts your team depth. Even worse than making like a bad pick, because they don't get any kind of value. And that's what really got me last year, is I set on a bunch of handcuffs, and that's kind of where I'm at this year. But it's like when you're this late in the game, there's no moves to really make on the waiver wire. And the only thing you can really do is maybe find the owner and get a piece for the handcuff to ensure that they have their piece. But it feels so much better if like Saquon gets hurt and you're like, ooh, I'm the motherfucker with Tank Bigsby right now. You know what I mean? You're like, ooh, I just gained one, baby. Yeah, I couldn't help myself. But that just feels so good. Or like when ETN goes down, you go, oh, I got base shell tooting. Or like this year, Mike with Jordan Mason, when Aaron Jones went down, you're just like, you gain one on him. You're like, fuck yeah.
It's rough.
It just feels good.
You hate that when that happens to you. And it's funny you brought this up, because I haven't thought about this since last year. I did the same goddamn thing last year. I sat on a bunch of handcuffs that didn't fucking work out at all. And this year, I didn't do this on purpose, but I didn't try to do that at all. I don't have any handcuffs. And I don't really even care about having handcuffs because of how badly it didn't work out for me.
To me, I guess I just take it too deep because this league is deep, and I'm like, I got to have running back in these late rounds. But because like I'm sitting on Ramondre's back up, Etienne's back up, McCaffrey's back up, fucking Javante's back up, and Saquon's back up. Like I have 7 players on my bench, and 5 of them are handcuffed running backs. Just hoping, because at this point I need a running back. Like I'm praying that somebody dies so I can have a chance here. But it's, outside of my top 2, I have nothing. And it's exactly where I was last year. And it's one of those, like, I don't know. You get in those late rounds and you're like, I don't know, Jaden Blue or fucking, who the fuck? Trey Harris. And it just feels like you have more upside on the running back than the wide receiver. Yeah. But, that's all I really got to say there. Just that's kind of the one mistake I've made these last 2 years. I've noticed, but I mean, you feel like you got to have at least one or two lotto tickets on the handcuffs for sure. And every year going into the draft, it's kind of niche, and you have to look it up yourself, or like there's some articles on it, but you can Google like pre-draft, like top running back handcuffs going into the season, or like going into the draft, and you can look at like, okay, here are the top 5 or 6. I'm going to try to get one of those and then just forget about the rest. Or you can be like me and just fucking hoard them all and have nothing. Just have a bag of rocks. So if you need your backup running back, come fucking get them for anything, please.
Exactly. So one thing I just noticed while we were sitting here looking at the screen, there's a little bit of method to this madness here.
Okay.
Look at these top 10 teams. Almost every person on this list is a playoff team right now, except for Kaysen with 1 and Mike with 1.
Yeah.
Well, there's Keith there at the very bottom. But, like, there's so many good playoff teams in that top list, so there might be a little bit of method to the madness there.
Absolutely.
It's kind of a winning formula to have, you know, some of these top running backs, and it's, you know, I've always been a running back heavy guy like you in the past and how I've drafted, and I tried something different this year, and I'm not mad about it or anything, but I do wish I had one of these guys on this top 10.
For sure. Absolutely. The last 2 years, I don't know why I've gone against the grain, but two seasons ago, honestly, I was underprepared. I was putting off fantasy. I didn't want to think about fantasy until the last minute, because nothing's worse than like absorbing fantasy content in May, and you're like, I have 5 fucking months left to draft. And it's just the grueling all through the summer. So I tried not to think about it. And then it was like a week beforehand, I'm jamming in podcasts at like 2.5x speed, and I'm watching shit and reading shit at the same time, just trying to like get months worth of knowledge in like 5 days. And it didn't really work. And I tried to do the no of taking the 2 singleton positions, the quarterback and the tight end, early. And I just flamed out on both. You have to really hit on both of those to make it work. And then this year I told myself I wasn't going to go high on either, because that's what was my plan in the past. Every year before the last 2 years, I don't give a fuck who's on the board. I go running back, and then I go like 5 straight receivers. That was my plan for all of my fantasy years before the last 2. And then for whatever reason, I just was underprepared 2 years ago. And then I don't know if it was just being in the chat room or whatever this year, but I just got nervous with some picks and panic took like Brock Bowers, panic took a couple people. Definitely missed a lot of people high on Henderson, a lot of people high on Williams. Missed on both of those guys, but yeah, draft strategy, man, it's a bitch. You gotta stay with what you know.
It is. This is the year I've prepared the most, and it's not like I'm performing any better than I have. So it's kind of like there's just the dart throws too. You know, like some of the games that I've won, I've been like, you know, I'll ask my wife or my kid, like, I have 3 players that are all projected like 6 to 10. Mm-hmm. Just tell me which ones, like, name you like the most. Like, That's how hard fantasy football can be.
Absolutely.
Because I almost feel like the more research I do, the worse decisions I make.
I was just about to ask you that. Like, if you consume too much content from too many other creators, you're gonna have one guy love this guy, and another you're gonna hate that guy, and another's gonna be like mid on that guy. And if you listen to enough, or you stretch yourself thin or like wide on too much content, everyone's gonna love and hate everybody, and you're not gonna have any fucking idea what to do. So you almost have to like pick 1 or 2 sources that you genuinely trust and just go with that. Because if you watch Fantasy Pros, Fantasy Footballers, JJ Zacharyson, if you watch sorry, I'm blanking on some of these podcast names now. Like BDGE, gosh, I'm so sorry, I'm blanking right now. Like fantasy nerds. God, there's one I'm trying to think. It's like I don't listen to him personally, but it's like, I don't know, something about running the ball, like pound the rock or pound the run or run the fucking ball. I don't know. I can't remember what it's called. But you know what I mean? Like everyone has a podcast and a way to get this shit out now. And fantasy football is so popular in 2025 that you can type in fantasy football news and like Yahoo's giving you shit. MSNBC, Matthew Berry, and whatever the fuck he's doing with NBC now. Now he's not with ESPN. The 01210 or whatever the ESPN fantasy football guys are. Yeah, the fantasy focus. Like, there's so much that, you know, you just kind of have to stick with one or two. The Podfather is one that I like a lot for Dynasty. But,
got it.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm stretching too wide on some of that too, where I need to get back down into only keeping that one or two in my pocket and going from there. But
I'm so glad you know what I'm talking about, because I was like, I probably sound like such like a rookie idiot, you know, like
no.
The more I was researching, the more like I'm so like it's just a dart throw, you know. I feel like they're called dart throws for a reason. And
for sure.
At the highest of level, like round one, like oh fuck, I don't know. I had a draft strategy, and then it's like somebody picked somebody you didn't expect, and you're like, oh fuck, it threw off my whole like philosophy here.
Yeah.
So.
For me, it's just you get in your head like when you're on the clock and you're sitting there and you're like, oh man, like I really want to take this guy. And then in the back of your head, you're like, oh well, you know, Andrew Erickson said that this motherfucker's got some shit going on. His brother just died and the quarterback changed. And I don't know about taking him, but Andy Holloway said that this is his fucking MVP of the season, and it just angel and devil on your shoulder with every player. So. I get exactly what you mean, and I've been caught up in that in the last few years again for sure. I used to just, like, I never listened to Fantasy Pros. I always kind of thought that was, like, the gimmicky thing. But they started putting out content at, like, a certain time. So, like, Sunday night, they drop a pod, with, like, after the game, so you can get in waiver wire advice and stuff like that before shit hits. Because waivers didn't run on Tuesday, but because ours run daily, I'm like, oh, I can squeeze in this extra bit of knowledge post Sunday before Monday and get a scoop on these guys. And then that kind of devolved into, well, now I'm listening to them a couple times a week, along with fantasy footballers and along with BDGE and along with all these other guys like JJ Zacharyson. And then I'm listening to 6 pods a week instead of 2. And I need to get back to my bread and butter, which is what my goal for next year. I'm going to put it in my notes after this pod that I'm only listening to this, and maybe this, and that's it next year. And fuck everybody else. I'm not listening to them.
This is probably going to sound ridiculous, but you're the only fantasy podcast I've ever listened to.
Shut the fuck up.
I've never listened to any fantasy football advice, like, podcasts, ever.
So I will recommend, like, some are pretty fun. Like, BDGE is pretty laid back. It's a guy that kind of, like, built the company on his own, and he basically started like this. Just posting fantasy shit on YouTube, and then kind of got some of his buddies in on it, and then kind of grew into this empire now, and they do all kinds of shit. The main guy can be a little like rough around the edges to get used to, because he's got like this, you know, like northeastern attitude, like whatever. But like fantasy footballers, they make it really fun. It's like hanging out with the boys. They get in there, they're like 3 lifelong friends. They just chill, talk fantasy, crack jokes and shit. Every player's got a nickname.
That's cool.
Fantasy Pros, kind of boring, in my opinion. They don't crack as many jokes as the other guys, but they're pretty knowledgeable in what they talk about. JJ Zacharyson is like strictly analytics. So if you want to sit here and be like, who's got the highest fucking ADOT in the league right now, or who's 7th in targets and snap percentage, and, you know, what O-line PFF grades are we talking about here? Like, he's entertaining to listen to, but it's very analytics driven and not so.
It's meant to be entertainment almost. It's definitely like fact.
It's very informative, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is kind of the scoop. But I'd give BDG or like fantasy footballers a chance when you get started, and then, like I said, fantasy pros. A lot of people like them, but they get good advice. Like two of their, so when they do like expert consensus rankings on their site, it's rankings taken from like all the experts, so like Matthew Berry and fantasy footballer guys, and they have like 100 plus people's rankings they put into their site, and they have like the 2nd and 3rd best rankers on the year right now.
Oh wow!
So like they're knowledgeable, but I don't know.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you telling me about all those. I'm like on the side taking notes I need to go listen to that. But I've just
You're
never
good.
been into it. I just watch every game and take my own like advice and keep my own like analytics in my head.
There's a method to that madness too. But there's, I can't imagine it'd be like watching Fight Club for the first time again to like watch your first podcast and be like, holy shit, they're talking about things I never fucking thought about, or like concepts I never thought about, or like a way to play, or like draft strategies and stuff. Like, it's entertaining, and a lot of times, like preseason wise, they'll do mock drafts like against each other, and they'll do like, well, here's a super flex, or here's this, or here's a mock draft with these parameters. Like, we can't take a quarterback in the first 10 rounds or something, and see how the team looks. But it's just, I think you'll enjoy it. It's good background to me, especially like fantasy footballers. Like if I'm cleaning the house or doing dishes, like having the background. And they talk about a lot of players, but like you mention a guy on your team and your ears kind of perk up for a second, and then you're just kind of back to zoning out. So
yeah, that makes sense.
So here we got tight ends to kind of finish it off. Really not much to talk about here. It's always ugly with tight end. It's never who you think it's going to be at the top. Like, first couple picks were Bowers and McBride, and neither of them are top two. It's being led by Jake Ferguson, who was taken in like round 8. Tucker Kraft's come on real hot here. McBride sitting at 3rd. Tyler Warren was a guy I really liked. He was a player whose ADP I loved coming into the year, but I ended up going Bowers early and kind of missing on that. But I mean, other than that, like, we got a couple rookies up here, a couple old heads. I don't know. I'm really just kind of meh on tight ends. They just kind of are where they are.
Yeah, I feel like they're honestly underperforming compared to what I thought they would be this year, but a couple shockers, obviously. Like, I would love to have Trey McBride's, but him not being number 1 and Brock Bowers not even being on this list is very shocking. But yeah, none of these guys, like, blow me out of the water or anything. Like, I have Dallas Goedert, which has 7 touchdowns. Like, you would think that would be super exciting. But he's just such a meh, Like, tight ends are just meh to me as well.
Well, if you look at him, it's just very low in receptions, very low in yards, just falling into the end zone at the right time. The thing with me and the way that I play like Dynasty and the way I played Fantasy before the past few years, when apparently I decided to go against everything I knew, is I treated, like, if I'm wearing an Infinity Gauntlet, like Thanos, tight end is the last gem for my gauntlet. Like, if I want my wide receivers and my running back gem and then my quarterback gem, and then like tight end is the last piece to get my Infinity Gauntlet every time. I try to not go early. Went early this year and it didn't pan out, a fucking course. So I'll never do it again. But
I'm gonna hold you to that.
But yeah, in Dynasty, like if I'm rebuilding a team, the first piece I trade away is like if I got a high tight end, fuck yeah, give me a first round pick or something for Bowers or McBride. Let me start over with somebody that it'd be a little better, because I mean the drop off here is pretty drastic from 1st to 12, and then if you're looking from what is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, from the difference between 7 and fucking 13 is 10 points. So if you don't have a top 6 guy, it's kind of like you can have 6 through probably
anybody
6 through fucking 20, and you're within a 20-point range of each other. So.
I completely agree. There's a couple of people I was a little higher on in the beginning of the league, or at the beginning of the year. Like, I thought David Njoku would have a better year.
Yeah.
But with Harold Fannin coming on, I love that. I mean, I think that I would love to see, like, David Njoku retire. The dude's always looks out of shape, but
absolutely.
I thought he'd have a better year with his ADP. And then the guy I drafted, which was Evan Ingram, I thought he was going to have a better year with Bo Nix, and he's just gotten off to the slowest start in the world. I think their run game has been good, and Troy Franklin and Cortland Sutton have both been killing it.
Absolutely. Sorry, I'm trying to see what Joe's cooking up here. It looks like Nico Collins is activated. He just casually dropped a player at 140 in the morning right here, like 10 minutes ago. I just wanted to see what was going on there, but it looked like Nico got cleared from concussion protocol for Sunday, so slide him in the lineup there.
Yep, had to clear a spot out.
So, I guess last thing I want to talk about is like projections or like end of year call outs for this. Doesn't have to be very long, but just like ranking wise, on the ranking site or like generator I use, it has These current rankings rest of season, it has Sam at number 1, Zach at number 2, Rody at number 3. It has you at number 4, even though you're currently sitting in 8th. It has Joey at 5. And there, we looked at it earlier, before pre-pod. It had me at 6, Kate at 7. But rankings have switched, and now Kate's at 6 and I'm at 7. And then Jake at 8, Amanda at 9. Pretty much the bottom 4 are not perfectly in order, but it is these 4 guys.
Got it.
So, okay. and the only difference up at the top really is, even those are pretty close. I guess the biggest gap based in standings and then like where it's ranking rest of season is you.
Yep.
Because with Sam, it has him at 1, he's at 2. Zach, it has him at 2, he's at 1. Rody's at right on the nose at 3. I'm at 4, but it has me at 7. But your 4 to 8 jump of 4 spots is a little more. Has Joey at 5, he's at 6. Kate at 6, she's at 5. So pretty spot on.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was so spot on. Now that we have, you're saying them and we have the visual here. I didn't realize that it was so spot on.
This is basically just looking rest of season, looking at what they've done now, and then kind of ranking positions and projected points for rest of season. To be honest, it still has. Fuck it, I'll pull it over here so we can all see it. Oh shit. It still has Sam and Zach running away with it a little bit here, and then a cluster right here, but from Rody down to Joe, where it's again pretty close, and then another drop off. Where honestly you could probably tier it like probably S, and then like A, B, C, D, and then all these guys down here at like E, F.
Yeah. Yep.
But like right here, this is definitely a tier. This should be a tier drop in my opinion, but I don't know if this is accounting for like Puka's injury and like Jaden Daniels' injury. Like those guys are going to be coming back here soon. I think this team easily is neck and neck with Sam here.
Yep.
And then I could definitely see this being a tight race. But
yeah, I think that I would be there. I think I just lost some close games, truly. So
early on, absolutely.
Getting the running backs back, I think that all that does is help.
Again, and like we talked about, like your points for has been there, but it's just you had these early season injuries, and then you've had some trades definitely between week 4 and now that has also bumped your team up a few spots. Like you traded for Dallas Goedert when you were rocking with Evan Ingram. You traded for Zay Flowers, got rid of Waddle, and you picked up RJ Harvey in the mix, and then you moved Harvey to get Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, who became your best running back as of right now, above. So like you're making all the right moves in this. Again, speaking of podcasts and stuff, like Fantasy Flock, Fantasy Domain is another podcast or like thing you can look into for resources. I don't follow Fantasy Flock's information. I think that guy is kind of a cuck. But I love his website.
Yeah.
I love the way that it ranks here, the predictions and all this. This is a great tool to look at that I don't think many other sites have. Being able to come in here, see where your team ranks at certain positions, and then overall, and then comparing it across the board and kind of seeing this update's live. So as a move happens, Joey drops a player, his thing goes down a little bit because he's, shorter player than he was before, but then he activates Collins. So I don't know, but this is where it currently has the league standings right here for the top 10 with the Prophet at the bottom, and then Mike and Casey on the outside looking in. But I think, like we talked about pre-pod, like I genuinely think it's pretty much 1 through 8. There's only 8 people vying for 7 slots. It's just going to be who's on the outside looking in.
Yep.
I'm a little shocked looking at my running back ranking that it has for me with Amari Hampton being hurt. I know they're still factoring him in because he's still a player, but having McCaffrey and Henderson is not the 4th best running back room right now for sure.
Yeah, no way. I was pretty shocked that I have the 11th, but I'm also not shocked at the same time. 11th ranked running backs.
It's just the way that it weighs them. You know, you got the way that's calculating here is before having JCM, you didn't have anybody in the top 24. Where like as you look at, let's see who has 10. So like Amanda has 2 top 24 running backs.
Got it. Okay.
And then whoever has 12, which is Mike, has no top 24. So it must be the way that they weight that based on their ranking.
That makes sense. What are the numbers on the left compared to right? Is that their preseason?
Which number are you talking about? Like this one here?
So like 114 to 15.
I would imagine. I don't really know, to be honest with you. I would say that's probably preseason ranking, but some of it doesn't make enough sense to me.
Yeah, that's.
I'm thinking maybe this is where they rank in the position, and then this is where they rank overall currently.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
So like he's, Michael Pittman. Well, no, because Michael Pittman's the top. Well, I guess these are rankings. These aren't necessarily based on scoring. This is just how they have them ranked out. So they have Michael Pittman as like their 19th ranked wide receiver, even though he's top 7. But if you look at like Pittman's rest of season, and I'm not trying to put anything on Pittman to like bring him down, but his rest of season is pretty tough.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering.
Like he's got Pittsburgh, and then it's Atlanta, Kansas City, Houston, and a bye week where you get nothing. And then playoff wise, it looks pretty good, but this run here might stunt him a little bit, where you see more of these 14-point games as opposed to 25s.
Yep, that makes sense. Okay. He dropped the link to that website in the chat after the pod.
Yes, I can drop the link to the website, but to see this, you'll have to log in.
Okay.
So you log in and register for the site with the same email that you have attached to Yahoo, and then you can import your leagues. So these are my 2 leagues here. I can click over. This is the other league that I'm in right now. I am driving Crooner here at 4th, and it'll let you know everything about the leagues that you got going on. This guy has Nakua, Rice, and HN. It's pretty gross. Yeah. But yeah, it's just fantasyflock.com, and then you go to, when you sign up, there's all kinds of little things you can do. A lot of it they want you to pay for. Like if you try to go to like team review and shit, you can put in all this stuff, and then it lets you like pick which expert you want to have rank your team. I mean, if you're into that, you want to pay for that, that's cool. Or you can get like team advice or trade reviews and have certain people directly tell you what to do or how to fix your team and shit. I'm not about that. I'm all for the free ski all the time. But yeah, it's a great website. Hats off to these guys. I think it's pretty dope.
It looks really cool.
For sure.
It's a cool tool I think other people should use as well. So that's why I was like trying to get it dropped in the chat. And
absolutely. And up here, like it tells you, like lays out your whole team and who you have starting and who's on the bench and stuff. And you can look on here and, it's running back 42 or wide receiver 60, which I want to play, and kind of go through that. But, yeah. Sorry if some of this looks weird. I have this, like, force dark mode on my browser. Some of these websites don't have dark mode, so it has, like, it forces it to go dark mode and, like, gives these guys, like, McCaffrey and Washington, and Tootin is just white out. Something about how they have it laid out. But yeah, man, anything else you want to touch on for midseason? Anything you want to say? Any shots you want to call? Any predictions or whatnot?
No, not really. I mean, I'm just trying to beat Jake this week for sure. So fuck Jake. This is fuck Jake week.
Yes, sir. It's 1 week at a time for all of us dogs in the middle right now, man. Because you can't.
Yeah, it is.
You can't. You lose one game and you could fall 4 or 5 spots based on points for. So,
exactly.
I think I'm cooked this week. I'm going up against fucking Zach, of course. So not looking good early. I didn't really want to play Malik Washington, but I was waiting on some trade responses that didn't come through, and I didn't want to drop anybody necessarily to move Bowers up yet. So that hurt a little bit. But let's check out. Fuck Jake Weekend. How's this playing out? Okay.
Yep. Zay Flowers underperformed a little bit, but I mean Lamar Jackson looked amazing, so I would want any piece on that offense when he's playing healthy.
Absolutely.
Got some bad matchups, but
I mean,
I think it's time for Justin Jefferson to wake up.
Absolutely. I think Jefferson could wake up, and Jansen could probably drop 50 on the fucking Commanders. So, those two might win you the week. Dobbs is like a solid 10 points a week.
Yep, exactly. Kamara will be fine. I know we talked about him a little pre-pod, but yeah, nothing like drafting him in the 3rd round, and he's been a fucking shitter or running back like 30. So.
Absolutely. If you want Kamara, come get him.
Yep, come get him. He's on the low right now.
If
gets better.
If I didn't have Chris Godwin, I would be all over this. But if I could move Chris Godwin and then come back around and get Kamara, I would be interested.
What you mean? I have Chris Godwin.
Not Chris Godwin. God damn it. Chris Olave. Chris Olave. I don't want 2 Saints on my team.
Oh, I don't blame you at all.
With the shitter offense. I'm doing one or the other. I apologize. But yeah, I have Chris Olave. If I could move Chris Olave for another piece, come back around, try to get Kamara, I will be your buyer. But I can't get a fucking trade to go through this year, dog. I got like a couple fucking bench swaps happening early on, but like since then I'm using the trade value tool and sending shit where I'm overpaying or I feel like it's fair and kind of works for both teams, and just nothing. Just can't get nothing, man.
Yeah, we have some people that just aren't responding, dude. I can't let a trade sit there for 5 days. Like people waiting to see how stuff plays out, if they got a question mark, or
Yeah.
I've done a lot of trades, and I'm happy with all of my trades except for pretty much Quinshon Judkins. But other than that, I mean, it's just the same couple people, like Jake and Mike just hitting me up, back and forth. We're swapping people in and out. I've been able to get to Sam. I mean, I love trading with the top team. So I'm happy with the trades I've been able to get through him. And I love the activity and just the conversations. I mean, Keith, if you're listening, I hit you up every 3 days for Breece Hall, Derrick Henry, and BJJ. I would love any of those guys. And I think that advice you gave on last week's pod or the week before that was really good and very valuable information about, the trade blocks is coming. It's going to be expiring, and some of these people, you don't want to sit on them too long. Like, that's why Alvin Kamara, even as my 3rd round pick, I have to swap him for somebody in the 10th round type value. You can't just sit here and just eat shit all year because you think you're going to lose a trade. Nobody wants to lose a trade, but you also can't fucking sit on your hands all year.
Once you get to a certain point in the year, draft value and draft, it doesn't matter. Like, if you draft Javonte Williams like right in the 10th round, you're going to get like 2nd, 3rd, 4th round player value in return for him. Like, you made a good investment. And sometimes when you miss, like I missed on Jameson Williams, I missed on Trayvon Henderson. So far, it looks like I missed on Brock Bowers. You take a hit, and you can't hold draft value close to your chest after like week 4 or 5. Because then you see trends, and you know who's good, and you know who's bad, you know who's struggling. And you gotta eventually, at some point, you gotta jump ship, even if it feels like it's too early. But if the ship is sinking and you don't do anything, that's the worst thing you can do, because you're basically accepting defeat and like calling it quits on the year. And like, I would love to trade with I'll tell you a player I really want, and I've been trying and I've been racking my brain to figure out how to make it work. Is I would fucking love to take a shot at Ashton Genty from Kaysen. But
send him a trade for a Genty once a week, every week. I've gotten a single response.
So I can't. Well, I haven't even sent the send trigger because I'm sitting on Brock Bowers as well. And so I'm like, well, it's not as easy as cooking up one trade. I got to cook up somebody to get Bowers from me and then turn around and hope that I could get Genty from him. And if I move Bowers and can't get Genty, I'm kind of fucked. So it's almost like working a three-way trade at the same time. And some of the people that communicate the most have very similar team comps. Like you and me, both looking for a running back. We can't make a trade happen because it doesn't make sense. Like Jacob and I have very similar teams, but it feels like when I need something, he has that something, but he can't come off of because he's thin or he's got an injury. It's kind of the same. Not so much the same with Sam because the running backs you want off his team are just too high. Where the only thing I can offer is a running back in return to Christian McCaffrey. So it's just finding that weird who's got a couple running back twos that can come off here and then getting it to work. I mean, I might hit up Keith on a trade, but I don't know. Like, let me get your take real fast on Jordan Addison.
Okay. Yep.
Jordan Addison rest of the season. Because you have Justin Jefferson.
Oh,
so,
I know that rest season schedule. It's beautiful.
Beautiful. Absolutely immaculate. But every time I mention Jordan Addison, it's a disbelief in J.J. McCarthy. And my defense to that is, even if J.J.'s bad and they're losing, game script-wise, it's still in favor of the passing game. And it's still the Jay Jetta, or Jordan Addison show. If McCarthy has to throw it 40 fucking times a game like Dylan Gabriel, like Spencer Rattler, like Tyler Shuck is about to do, he's going to get the targets anyway. And even if they're not valuable, if he catches 7 balls for 60 yards and gives you 13 points a week, I'm taking that for sure.
I'll fucking take that in a flex any day of the week.
It's just one of those, like, I just kind of wanted to get your opinion on it because I get a lot of, like, he's kind of like and I don't want to trade him, but I feel like he's my best trade asset to move with a plus to go get something. But, like, nobody's interested in Addison. And it's been, like, baffling the fuck out of me.
Because, I mean, I watch every Vikings game, too, being a Justin Jefferson owner, obviously. The dude looks good, and he gets the targets. Honestly, he's frustrating as the Jefferson owner to watch Addison. So
he's outplayed Jefferson since he's come back.
Exactly. It's been
it's been with another quarterback, but it's just I don't know. There's a lot of Addison hate, and I was wanting to kind of gauge someone's live opinion on it because I don't know if I'm just delusional or if there is some rhyme or reason to it. But yeah,
I support you honestly. Like I mean, it's probably exactly what you wanted to hear. I mean, I watch it and I don't look at all the pods and listen to pods and shit like that. I can just tell with my own eyes that Jordan Addison has outplayed Jefferson since he's been back. Like I said, it's been super frustrating, and he should be viewed. Like obviously he's not Justin Jefferson, but he should be viewed up there as a high-end wide receiver too, no doubt.
Absolutely. Like you said, the rest of the season schedule, like, I mean, it's almost at the point I don't want to move him, but I'm like, if I feel like if I'm floating down Addison or Olave, like Addison would be more appealing on a receiving end, but it's just, I don't know. It's been eating me up a little bit. But
I would, if I didn't have Jefferson, I mean, I would probably have already shot you something for Addison at this point.
Well, I need you to do me a favor and trade Justin Jefferson so I can trade you Jordan Addison.
Dude, every Justin Jefferson trade I get is for fucking somebody stupid.
There's I don't know. I don't want to put anybody on too much of blast here.
I won't either.
But there is a certain someone who I feel like constantly lowballs, and I don't understand where they get their values from. And it's absolutely like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it because they're willing to trade, but they're just not willing to give you anything in return. But they're down to trade like any player, anytime. But you're gonna get like 50% ROI on your assets. So
it's insane. I need to pull up this person's team because I know we're thinking of the same person.
Yeah.
and look at it because it's just insane. Some of the shit that I've got.
Not a bad team, but they're just not willing to come off any of their core pieces for a core piece. It's
like here, I'll give you an example by no, and I won't use anybody's name, but this person is currently I got this trade for Justin Jefferson for two people that aren't even on this person's bench anymore. They're dropped.
Yeah.
They're on the waiver wire. 2 waiver wires for Justin Jefferson. It's just what are these people doing? I pinned the thing to. We should all agree to 1 trade value. I understand. When I listen to it, I hear that it's get your values from wherever the fuck you want. But I almost wish that it was there is a universal.
I can't make people value their players in a certain way, and everyone's gonna value a little different. No matter what, I value running. If it's a running back and a receiver that are both valued at 50, my running back's going to be 55, 60 in my head because of positional scarcity. And there are some players there should never be someone that's untouchable on your team. If somebody comes to you and goes, "What do you want for JSN?" It should not be you can't get them. It'd be you can make an offer, but it's going to be an overpay. And you might have someone crazy enough to fucking overpay what you want. And a 2-for-1, you should be overpaying 10 to 15 or so in value, because obviously the person getting the 1 player is getting the best player in the trade, which is why they're getting 2. So you should be overpaying with the 2 players to get the better 1. And sometimes
we could just. Sorry, I was gonna say we could just use the most recent trade I did, for Bill.
Yeah.
I paid 2 players, lost the trade in value, but I got the best player out of that, in my opinion, right?
100%.
Most people's opinion. And I don't feel bad losing that trade. And I think it's all about getting the best player. I understand that we all, have different values, but it would just be so much easier if we all had a universal understanding as to a ballpark for how to send a trade. And I think that this sheet has been the best thing I've seen. That could be something we could refer to. Not that you have to.
And if you don't believe in the sheet or you don't really understand where these values are coming from, he talks about it in the about and all that about how he pulls this data, and it's an algorithm that he uses with expert consensus rankings and trade value sheets and stuff like that to kind of come up with this number, and then the trends and whatnot he kind of tweaks himself. But I like to think that it's pretty accurate. When I look at this, it's hard to say without having either of these players on my team, a straight up swap James Cook, Drake London. To me, that's a no-go just because there's a running back involved, and I think James Cook is worth more than Drake London. But Drake London for Saquon Barkley or Bucky Irving, yeah, probably I would do that if I was looking for one or the other of those pieces there. But I hate rolling out, and I kind of floated Hampton out there for some trades last week, just hoping to get a running back because I was wanting to guarantee my win. I ended up kind of getting it in anyway, and it wasn't so desperate. But, I was looking for, sending offers out for some of these guys in this range. Well, actually, it would have been down here because he's +9, and getting offers for this in return.
Yeah.
Just way under. And I understand he's hurt, but you get a guy, he's going to go right in your IR, you can roster somebody else. He's going to come back. It's not season ending. But it's just kind of you're kind of hoping to get something in here. And I mean, I'll even discount him and take something here. If I had Hampton and somebody had Addison, I would fucking take that in a heartbeat, but I have both. But Hampton for BTJ, I would take a discount on that. Hampton for McMillan, Hampton for Sutton, Hampton for Pittman, but just no one's wanting to move. And I'm getting Rashid Shaheed straight up for Hampton, and there's just no shot.
There's no fucking way. Not even 2 guys, honestly, in that bottom tier. Scroll back down.
It just depends. If there was a running back involved, maybe that had some upside. There was a time where you could have given me JCM plus for Hampton. There was a time where Travis Hunter's value has plummeted, but if we're talking 2 weeks ago, I would have straight up gone Travis Hunter for Hampton. Fuck it.
Damn.
He's it's one of those that plays into, I'm a Jags fan, my Jags. I want it.
True.
I don't have a Jag on either of my teams. So when I'm watching the game, I just have to root for, and don't get me wrong, I like rooting for the team, but I want to have some fantasy aspect on the line as well, and I have like none this year, and it just kind of sucks. I have base shell Tootin, but he's a handcuff. So it's not like he sees the field like 5 times a game. When he's out there, I'm like, oh shit, I'm leaning in, man. I'm ready to watch him do something. But
it's just not the same, though. I hear you.
But yeah, I don't know. Just kind of something to float out there. Where the hell is Jordan Addison at right here? So I'm looking like this range for Jordan Addison for Alvin Kamara, baby. You want to double up?
Yep.
I'll do that right now.
I'm taking the whole Vikings offense. I got Aaron Jones too. Fuck it.
I will send that motherfucker right now, bud. You just go ahead and pick up McCarthy.
Yeah, dude, I'm going for the quadruple stack. Their bye week, I think it's already done, so we're good.
Dead ass. I know this has nothing to do with our league, but there is a guy in my work league that has all of the fucking
Jefferson Starship.
He has all the Detroit Lions.
Oh my god.
Goff, Brown, Williams, Montgomery, like any of the Lions he can get. And I think he's got their kicker and their defense.
Oh my god, dude. He's all in.
And I mean his team's not bad. He's 5-3 in fucking second place.
Second place.
Running full Detroit. He's got Gibbs, he's got Williams, he's got the whole squad, dog.
He's got the whole motherfucker.
He went every round, lion. So
I even feel that way with just 3 fucking Eagles on my team, and they're playing so weird this year.
Yeah.
So I feel it's like you go all in, like if we would have let Brody get Joe Burrow.
I did that in Jake's league one year. He had a family league going, and I drafted like Tyreek Hill, came back around, grabbed Jalen Waddle, and went fucking grabbed Tua like a couple rounds later, and I had that.
Boom, boom, boom.
I had that triple stack, and it took me all the way to the playoffs, but then let me down in one bad game. But yeah.
Can't trust the Eagles in a playoff game in real life or in fantasy.
Added work in store Sunday. I'm gonna fucking come. What is this, dude? Ramondre Stevenson's out?
He's out. Yeah,
He's out? When the fuck did that happen? Oh my lord.
Yeah.
Holy camole. I had no idea. That's a lie. 13. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah,
what the
I wanted
fuck?
to send you something for Henderson earlier today, but
Brother, I'm gonna bust a nut. If he pops in that game, dude. Oh my Lanta. I need this so bad, Hendo. I'm locking the fuck in on that game, dude. Fuck the Jags. Yeah. Fuck Red Zone. I'm watching this game alone at 1 o'clock.
Patriots and Atlanta.
Like, rough game, but man, if he... God, this is a bad defense, too. He had 10 for 75 against Cleveland. Like, God. Oh, I'm going to come. I didn't know Stevenson was out. What the hell happened?
Yeah.
When the fuck did that even happen?
It was a couple hours ago.
Oh my lord!
Like Halloween, like trick or treating time, and the dude got announced. I was like, "What? I didn't even know he was questionable."
I didn't know he was hurt. I mean, I kind of got nervous last week towards the end of the week because the Patriots were making some moves, trading some defensive players, and I was like screenshotting some rumors, and then I was like, "Oh!" I screenshotted one saying that they were looking for a running back. And I was like, "Oh shit!" Not posting that because that's gonna tank Henderson's value if people see it.
Yep.
But
I saw it. I was like, "Oh no."
I did see there was a RJ Harvey for Hendo straight up that got canceled like 2 minutes later.
Yeah.
I saw it come across and I was like, is that a good trade? And I had enough time to go to TikTok and look up RJ Harvey fantasy updates. And by the time I watched the first video that fucker was pulled, I was like, damn.
Yeah, I was like, nope, because I saw that same motherfucking thing.
Yeah, for sure. Because I was going to do it just based on that news, but I didn't know if something had happened to Harvey. I wanted to make sure he didn't pick up an injury last minute or something. And cost me the move, man. And now Sam's got him. Damn. Well, I guess it all works out because
it does work out for you.
Hendo might have a chance here. God, if he gets this backfield, that's a...
Dude.
Oh.
He's like a league winner, laughs half the year. He can be the RB1.
That's a... All right, brother. Yeah. Appreciate you being on here. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a long one. I don't feel like anyone's going to watch this, but it was...
If they do, there's people still listening.
Absolutely. 100% I love you. it's something you can do too. And I shouldn't say this at the hour and 40-minute mark in the pod, but on YouTube and Spotify, you can put these videos and these audio clips on like 1.5, and it's not too fast where you don't understand what people are saying, but it cuts the video time like almost in half.
Yeah.
Like this hour 40 will be like an hour 5 if you do 1.5. And we got that slow Midwestern drawl, so you can still hear everything we're saying. So yeah, just something there. But yeah, brother, good talking to you.
I appreciate the time, dude. We've been talking for like 4 hours, but
100%, 100%.
Hour 45 here. I hope people appreciate the banter, and happy to be on. Half the season in, half the season to go.
Absolutely, and it's the most exciting part of the season, man. I love the first 4 weeks because that's when all the teams are at full strength before buys start to play a factor. But man, the last 4 weeks, the playoff push, the jockeying for position, being fourth place 1 week, then seventh, then fifth, and eighth, and third, and sixth. Like that's just fun to keep up with and see. Hoping there's no more crazy injuries in the season because that just sucks for fantasy. But
yeah, hopefully we get them out early.
We're behind that.
Everybody's it's good.
Absolutely, but I appreciate you for being on. Appreciate you.
Before we hop off real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
People that are listening, all 2 of you, or hopefully 20,000 of you, whoever, don't be scared to trade.
Please.
Don't let trades sit there for 4 days.
Absolutely.
Refer to some sort of sheet that makes sense. And some sort of consensus value. Don't send bench players for starters.
For sure. I mean, at the very least, if you're unsure, like pop it in a trade calculator. You can't trust those because it's not showing you upside potential or downside. It's really just kind of giving you where they're valued right now. So it's a little bland as opposed to like a value chart, like the one that comes up here. Because that has like upside baked in. Like Amarian Hampton's moving up 9 points, even though he's hurt because he's getting closer to coming back. Whereas trade calculator site might have him at a stock 20 till he's back, and then he's like 45 without the slow progression. So, I mean, pop it in a trade calculator just to see if you're in the ballpark, or hit up that value sheet, or I've said it in the past, come and talk to me. I mean, I had I'm not gonna say that I influenced trades one way or another, but Sam just came to me with my opinion based on a trade he and Keith were gonna make, and then a trade that you and him ended up making. If it's fair, if it's cool, like if it's, I always try to be straight up. Like there are plenty of people that have come to me with trades, and I'm like, that's fucking awful. Don't do that. But I try not to influence trades in a way that like fucks the league. I just try to give honest opinions on whatnot. I think the trade that he and Keith were gonna make wasn't in Sam's favor. Do I want to see Sam's team get worse? Absolutely. But I don't want to. I'm not going to talk him into tanking his team. So,
right.
The one that he made with you, I felt like was very, very fair.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was very fair. He was hitting me up for Tez Johnson for a couple of weeks, so I was finally happy.
That's such a random fucking like. I don't know.
I know, right?
Just super random.
He was hitting me up for him, and I was like, okay, you want a bench player? All right, that's fine with me, dog. Like, you can take my bench all day long. So, I love that people were like, hey, hit me up one-on-one, send me a message, blah, blah, blah. But, you can't make them trade.
For sure.
It's just, I would love to see some sort of consensus value that at least makes sense. Because that's one thing we've just not had in this league is a consistent, like, trade evaluator. Trade calculator almost in a way, or that trade sheet is really what I'm trying to say, of something where something makes sense.
I think what beyond the trade calculator, it's just people's overall willingness and openness to trade at all.
True.
Because you can give them all the tools in the world, and I can give them a trade value sheet and go, you are literally winning this fucking trade if you make it. But if they're still nervous to pull the trigger at the end of the day, it's not going to happen. So,
exactly.
I recommend on the side of trading. I think it's very fun, something I mentioned on the Week 8 recap pod that I haven't posted yet. I apologize. It's been recorded though. Is like when you when you when you're thinking about trading, like take a moment to think about the trades that you didn't make because you win trades that didn't happen too. There was a trade early on, like week 3 of the season, where I was on the fence and almost going to click accept to move Ibuka and Hampton for like Saquon Barkley and Zay Flowers or something like that. And the only reason that trade didn't go through was because Ibuka had like an ankle injury leading up into Sunday. I was like, I don't want to trade you somebody that's hurt. If he's cool after Sunday, I'm still cool to make the deal. Well, then that Sunday, Amari and Hampton got hurt. So if we would have made the trade, Mike wouldn't have had Saquon to get Scattaboo to go on like a 2 or 3 game win streak that he did. I would have Saquon instead of a hurt Hampton, but I wouldn't have Ibuka. I'd have Flowers that struggled because the week after Lamar Jackson got hurt. So it's, early on I traded like Wan'Dale Robinson for Brian Robinson Sr. or Jr. to make sure I had my handcuff for McCaffrey. And Wan'Dale put up like fucking 27 points in the first week. And I'm like, man, I just fucked myself pretty hard. And then he's been pretty average since then. But long term, I lost that trade because I've gotten no value from Brian Robinson. But I have the insurance policy there. But it's just one of those, like, I don't know. There's all sorts of trades. Like you traded Trey Tucker for Dallas Goedert, and Goddard's gone crazy since that trade. Where Tucker has really cooled off after that 40-point performance. So it's just when you think about the ones that you didn't make or you did make or whatnot. I mean, it's just you win those two when someone comes to you, or you lose them as well. If I would have, I was talking to Keith early on about getting BTJ. If I would have traded him, I think he wanted Ibuka for BTJ. If I would have made that trade, I would be way worse off right now. I wouldn't have a top 8 receiver. I'd have a wide receiver 40, and pretty pissed. But I did make the trade and I won, and I don't know.
There's just no way to know. I mean, because I don't know if a lot of the people in the league would remember or not, but BTJ was on fire last year.
100%.
I mean, the dude was a guaranteed wide receiver 1.
Exactly. The whole reason he was like an early round 2 pick.
Most people would have taken BTJ over Ibuka. Like that's like almost like a
100%.
Based off of last year, but you just have no idea what the fuck. They got a new offensive coordinator, and now he's just not that wide receiver 1. He's not that guy.
The one thing I'll say too is like if you get a euphoria or like a dopamine from drafting, the only thing close after draft season is like making that trade. That like adrenaline rush when a trade goes through and you're like let's go. Now I got to prove that my side was right, whether it was a fair trade or not. It's like you're betting on a player, casting the same kind of lottery ticket as you did when you were drafting a player. And I think it's just a fun way to look at it and a fun way to keep the league entertaining to you, especially if it's gone stale. Like if your team is bad, like I trade more and way harder when my team is bad, just for the chance that I can turn it around, because that's fun. It's like rebuilding a franchise. It's like it's like being the owner of the Browns and like who can I ship off for young players or something crazy, or like exactly what Mike did with Scattaboo for Barkley early on, and like it worked those first couple weeks, but now that Scattaboo's gone, obviously that's looking way different. But it's what 2 players with upside can I get for Derrick Henry, and then I get these 2 guys, but now I'm heavy at wide receiver, so I can try to flip a wide receiver for a running back, or let me go move my tight end for this receiver, then I can move this receiver and this running back for this tight end that I'd rather have. And it's just like you just start to have fucking fun with it. And if it doesn't work, who the fuck cares? You were in 10th place anyway, or 11th place. Yeah. And if it does work,
doesn't matter.
And you rip a 9-game winning streak and make it to the playoffs and then get bounced, it's like that was fucking cool. So I don't know. But when I'm 5-3, you're a little more hesitant to move because things are kind of going your way. But I don't know. Just kind of something else I want to throw out there. I almost wish like early on Jake was messaging me like my season's chalked. And I'm like, I'd almost rather be in your position than mine right now, because that was I think I was 3-1, and he was like 1-3 or 2-2. And I'm like, I'd rather be in your position because I could just fucking sit here and just trade all day.
Yeah.
Like, I want to fucking trade. I want to trade every fucking day, but I just
Me too.
I can't get anything to work.
Yeah, I need more people to like pay attention. It's like people don't get the alerts on their phone or something. Turn the Yahoo alerts on.
I hit him up on Messenger too. If I try to reach out to Messenger, like, hey, since you trade, or are you willing to do, like, what would it take to get BTJ, or if can I send you Troy Franklin plus this to get Alvin Kamara or something like that. And then they're like, well, I don't know about that, but I would rather have this. Or, my favorite question is one of them is like, what would you need from me to get this? If I want Jalen Warren, what do you need from me? What position do you think you need? What players do you like? Give me a group of guys. Like, name 5 guys on my team you like for Jalen Warren, and I can try to come up with a 2-for-1 or a 1-for-1 that I'm comfortable with too. And you're already giving me who you like, and I'm telling you who I'm willing to move, and then we can just make something happen. True. But I think if you cold send a trade,
I just need to try harder, yeah.
Just the communication aspect is like, because I hate cold trading, like just sending a trade cold, because somebody can look at it and be like, nah, fuck that, dude, that's a low ball or whatever right off the rip. But if you talk to them and you're like, I think it's exactly what the fuck I said verbatim to Keith. I was like, I need a running back, you need a receiver, I have a receiver, you need a fucking running back, what are we going to do here? And it ended up not being able to come through with on like value wise, but it's, being straight up with somebody. I'm hurting a running back, you have fucking 4, I need 1, what's it going to take? And just see what the fuck they say.
That's good advice for anybody listening. Sorry, I know we kind of segued here. I just wanted to
you're good.
Trade talk I can get out there for anybody that would potentially listen. I think it's a good move for our league. I think that
100%.
I was looking historically at the data of like how many moves every winner has made. 40 plus moves a year. Every winner.
Wow.
For the last 4 years.
Absolutely. And you can look at some of those guys that have won, and that tracks. Like, I think Joey's one of the 3 guys at 20 plus this year, and he's won back to back. And then Rhodey is a guy that's always looking to trade, but there's not always ideal. But he's like moving and shaking on the waiver wire as well. He won one time, like I won once, and I'm one of the guys with 20 plus right now. I'm not saying you need to flop your whole fucking roster around, do this and that, but it's like there was a point in time where I picked up Keaton Mitchell for like a week because there were trade rumors, didn't come through. I have to move on. I pick up somebody else with a hot trade rumor, or going into the Jags bye week, not the right guy because Brian Thomas went into the bye week hurt, so I went and picked up Parker Washington because he'd be their wide receiver 2 if he or Hunter were to miss a game. Well, BTJ is good, but Hunter is all of a sudden hurt, and now I have a wide receiver 2 on a team that's probably going to have to throw the ball a lot. So It's just like little stuff like that, little weird things. It's not always about being the highest bid on the backup running back after somebody gets hurt. It's like you gotta get grimy with the shit. It's the same with Tank Bigsby. Saquon pulled his groin. They're going into a bye. I'll hold this motherfucker for 45 days until I hear what the hell's going on with that groin. And if they come out and say he's fully healthy, dropping Tank Bigsby, I'm off to the next. So
exactly. I put in for him too. I watched that game, and you got him over me. So I was like, oh, he watched the same shit.
So that was actually a situation where I didn't watch that game, but that goddamn Fantasy Pros podcast they do on Sunday night, that's like 40 minutes long, where they start off with like injuries and then like what players surprise and like early waiver wire pickups, and he was just on that show, and I was like, fuck it, picked him up Sunday night. For that reason, I think I put like $1 or $2 on him, like last dollar.
Exactly, because I was just about to say, I thought that nobody would have noticed that.
Yeah.
It was so under the radar. I was like, I didn't even think to put any money on it.
Yep.
Damn.
And it's one like, and they don't think it's going to be a serious injury, but they said that about Christian McCaffrey's Achilles last year, and he missed the whole season. Or Brian Robinson had that, or Brian Thomas has that wrist injury that didn't affect him through the first half of the year, but he hasn't done anything. So I don't know. You can't just trust him. He got ruled out pretty quick, and it's a shot in the dark and a league winning upside. So.
Yep, exactly. All right. Alrighty. I don't have anything else for this pod.
Me either.
I know that it's 2:30 in the morning for you, 12:30 for me. So.
Yeah, I'm a night shift guy. I'm not worried myself, man. I'm probably gonna stay up late anyway. I'm not gonna lie. Probably. I was tired. I'm not gonna before we started talking, but this really got me amped up. But I'll most likely be like queuing up for fucking Valorant after this, or selling some meth on Schedule 1.
Hey, I wish, bro.
That's a fun game if you haven't played it. It's just a game about dealing drugs. But it's so fun in the way that they do it. But
San Andreas.
Kinda, but like super cartoony. Like if you take, I don't even know what the fucking compare the graphics to. It's just goofy. It's like like dealing drugs in South Park. It's just funny.
Hilarious.
But yeah, I'm a little more worried and concerned about your time, though. I apologize keeping you from the family this long and this late. Hope you had a good trick or treat. I hope everyone had a happy Halloween. World Series, man, that's been fun. Hope people are watching that.
Yeah, Game 7, bro.
Come on, Toronto. Rooting for the Blue Jays, baby.
Got it. I'm rooting for the Blue Jays as well.
I don't really have a dog in the fight. The only reason I'm rooting for Toronto is I'm a Drake fan. if I'm being honest, in that whole Drake Kendrick beef, like Toronto versus LA, it's this whole like, Toronto's got to win one. Got to win one for the boy. So.
You don't think they're soft?
Soft.
Just kidding. Soft.
No, not as soft as God. Who the hell did we roll over that
Texas.
game? I don't even remember. Yeah, God, they were so bad. I can't remember how soft, baby. That's
funny.
It's funny. I'll have to send you right after this. I know we're just keep prolonging this, but that bit is from a WWE tag team. And that was like their thing, and it was funny. They're just a funny duo, dude. And they would come out there and call people soft all the time.
Soft.
Just like that. And they'd spell it out. SAWFT. Soft.
That's the only way to spell soft.
I love it.
As far as I'm concerned.
I love it. That team was a flash in the pan, but they literally had a promo. They'd come out and say the same thing like every time they would introduce their like tag team. They had a promo where the dude had a fake mic in his hand and the whole crowd did their entire promo for them. And it's like 3 minutes long. He didn't have to say shit. They knew it word for word, verbatim. Like, that's how fucking hot they were at the time.
Damn.
But this is Big Cass and he's 7 feet tall and you can't teach that. Like, oh. Sorry, I'm a wrestling nerd again, man.
Oh, you're good, dude.
But
I love it.
All right, let's for real get the fuck out of here, man. I'm going to hit stop recording. If I don't do it, we're just going to keep talking. But right. Much love to the Corn Belt League. Sorry for the 2-hour midseason pod, but I hope everyone's having a good time. Thank you, Will, for the guest co-host today. Hope we were talking about a possible surprise in the future. Hope that comes true. Just let me know, and we can make it happen. And hope you guys are having a great season.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on, and thank you, everybody, for listening.
Absolutely. Much love, all guys. I appreciate you. Corn Belt League, we are out.